Simone, thank you. Muzzleloader deer season continues through tomorrow, but the recent warm weather is being blamed for lower harvest. Wake Up Central Scott Covert gets an update on that, plus how today's big cold front is promising success for early goose season.
Hey, welcome back outside to the Weather Garden. It's another edition of the Outdoor Report, joined by Trey Reid from Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Trey, it's just that time of the year. Seasons are opening. Folks are out in the deer woods hunting. Tell us about what we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, we've had a pretty good deer season thus far. Now, I got to complain to the weatherman about muzzleloading season, right?
You mean you don't want to muzzle load when the highs are in the 80s?
True.
Okay.
I know we got a break coming though. We got some more seasonable, maybe even like January, February weather coming in.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Right, exactly. Now, I mean, we've checked 22,000 deer so far in Arkansas this year, which is not bad, but our muzzleloading opening weekend last weekend, we had between 6,000 and 7,000 deer checked, and that's not bad, but typically that number would probably be up a little over 10,000.
Likely weather related.
Yeah, and it's not like, so the deer are out there making a living 365 days a year, whether it's 110 in July or 10 degrees in February.
But I don't want to sit out there at 89 in camo and orange, slapping mosquitoes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think hunter participation was probably down a little bit opening weekend, and unfortunately this front's coming in like right at the tail end of muzzleloading season.
Because that's tomorrow.
Right. The last day of the muzzleloading season is tomorrow, so not going to help the deer hunters, although I suspect there'll be some guys out there this weekend taking advantage of the last weekend. But yeah, that's where we stand right now with deer season. Of course, the youth hunt is 1 week from today.
Okay.
And so that's always first modern gun season of the year. I want to quickly remind folks, if a youth takes a deer and checks it, they will need a youth customer ID number. It doesn't cost anything. You get it at the license portal, just like where you buy your license.
But not an actual license, just a number.
It's just a number.
Like a driver's license
number. It will be their number forever, though. So I mean, like even when they have to buy a license, when they turn 16, they will have that number. But what it avoids is like kid shoots a deer, and then you go to check it. Why can't I check the deer? Or dad's got or mom's got to put it on their license. This way, they check the deer. You can check it for them, but it checks to that number.
Mom, dad, grandpa probably like that because it's not one of their tags
that they're
using.
Burning one of their tags.
That's exactly right.
And it just helps us keep more accurate records.
And that's important.
It is. Speaking of that too, Scott, I mean, we've got a lot of questions about the new app. We've talked about it here a number of times. Still some folks I don't think have quite figured it out, or they're having issues with it. We have got some videos up on agfc.com now. So you want to make sure that whether you're using the if you're using the app, you've got an electronic tag there. Like, make sure that's loaded, and basically it's right there on the home page. It's the first thing front and center that pops up. We've got 4 or 5 different videos that make sure how to make sure your license is there, how to make sure your tags are there. You can add a youth hunter onto your account, so you can just kind of all do it from one spot on the app.
It's some growing pains. It's a learning curve, but once we're set up in there, you're good to go.
It's going to help the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission keep more accurate records of our deer harvest, and it ultimately, I think, will be much more user-friendly for the end user, our hunters out in the field. Okay, so
I know it's been hot this week, but we have had a few good cold fronts come through over the last month, and every time we see one, I see these reports of all these speckled-belly geese coming to Arkansas. This front coming through tomorrow, I suspect, is going to bring a big surge of speckled-belly geese just in time for
the opener of the first segment of white-fronted goose or speckled-belly season, which actually opened this morning, 30 minutes before sunrise. Yeah, Scott, they're a little bit earlier migrants than other waterfowl. Of course, the blue-winged teal come through real early, but the specks start showing up in October. And again, photo period, and we always talk about the weather, and it is a huge influence, but the length of daylight is, it triggers hormonal responses in those birds. It's time to move. So we do have some specks in the state already, but you are 100% right. This cold front, they're going to load in here. And the season, which opened today, goes through November 10th, the first segment of it. Then it'll open back up with regular duck season on the 18th of November. And
that's something that has just rapidly grown in popularity. In some respect, if I'm correct, because those birds are kind of just shifting their patterns a little bit.
They have. They have historically, kind of the hotbed of white-fronted goose hunting has been southern Louisiana, southeast Texas, changing agricultural practices, other factors. They've moved we're getting a lot more of them here. And it has really become a big part of the waterfowl game in Arkansas, much more so than, say, 15, 20 years ago. But, man, the other great thing about them is, unlike these giant flocks of snow, blue, and Ross's geese that we see, they travel. They're big flocks, but they decoy more like mallards and other ducks. So I mean, they respond to calls. You don't have to have 500 decoys. You know, a couple of dozen will do the trick. So, kind of a more manageable type of goose hunting, and they are exceptional on the table.
Exceptional on the table. All right, so much going on. We'll check back with you next week. There's going to be even more going on next week. We'll see you guys back here for another edition of the Outdoor Report.